it visible, my slides?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, in the beginning, actually, we have to talk about this data, right? What is data and what is data versus information? Now, you can see that here is two numbers. The first section, you have written that 100822021, and that maybe represents some data. But out of this, you cannot understand that what this data means. But after this simple processing, that means we are making two dash, right? 10 dash 08 dash 2021. So that becomes the information. And what this information means? It carries the information which is the date, in the format of date. So today's date, the information is giving. So like this, we always have some data. From the data, we have to process that information on that. So at first, we will talk about that understanding the object and their attributes. So in this basically for class one student, like if you have a ball and you can show them one ball like this, and then we have to collect the data or attributes from this particular data, right? So this is a ball. From there, what we can see, we can ask their questions. So what is this? So they will answer that okay, this is a ball. Now, what are the other information we can get? So this ball, so the what's the color of this ball? Color of the ball is blue. So this is another information we can take out from this. Then another thing, else one. So else we can take out the data that the shape. The shape of this ball is round, right? So like this, you can just hand over them some balls, and from there you can ask them what is the data or the information you can give it back to me, right? In next case, you can give them lots of balls, and then you can ask them, okay, what do you see? So from there, they may give the answer that okay, now I can see many balls, and then first questions you can ask that okay, what are the colors of the ball? Now we see there's many colors, right? It can be blue, it can be red, it can be there is green, and there is yellow. So these are the data you can take out, right? So different colors of balls will be there. Then you can also ask them to count them. Just count the number of the balls. So maybe there is this kind of different types of balls, and from there you can ask that okay, how many balls are there? Now here you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that can be also one information you can take out from this picture, or you can if you have the physical ball, they can also check that okay, they can count them, how many balls are there. Now more what? More data we can get from there. Now you can see okay. Now you can see that how many big balls are there. Now there is three out of six. There is three big balls are there, and again there will be three small balls are there. So these are the data, or these are the information they can extract from these data. Actually, all are data. From the data, we have to extract the information. So being a kid, those who are in class one, so they will also find it very much playful because they are playing with balls, and along with this, they are also able to learn the countings, also taking out the information from this large chunk of data. Now, next, you can also show them some shapes. Okay, so now this is a shape of a square, obviously, and then with that shape, you can also show them different blocks. Actually, what are in practical sense? So then you can show them some blocks, building blocks, and down there you can also help them to count. Okay, what you see? We see that there are several number of blocks are there. So these blocks individually they are what shape? They are shape of square. Okay, and then also they can learn counting from them. So they will count maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there will be 10 blocks are there. So the main motto is that being playful and what is around they are playing with all these games and other playing stuff, we can teach them or they can learn other connections. Okay. Now again, from the shapes, they are going to learn that the colors. So we can ask them what's the color of this block A. So that will be yellow. And also we can show them this red one, the green one. Also, they will now learn the alphabets. So we can by playfulness we can learn the colors. They can able to count. Also, they will learn the shape of this particular block. Okay. Now, next is rectangle. So you can draw in a board or you can in a presentation if was possible that different shapes you are representing them. And by making this, they will learn the shape. So what's the shape of this? The shape of rectangle. Okay. And now with some building blocks, they can actually in practical sense see that where these are actually coming from. Now using these building blocks, they can learn that okay, the square, the rectangles are using here. And also, they can able to count this, right? One, two, three, four, and also the colors. So, can you point out the green color rectangle? Now they can point out this. Can you point the red color rectangle? They can point this one. So these colors also right? Okay. Now same thing can be done with the different kinds of triangles. So first, what is triangle? So they will know that okay, if there is three sides, then that's what triangles. And triangles are everywhere, right? We can show them different kinds of shapes, different kinds of physical quantities also, different kind of boxes where these triangles are there, right? So using this, they will learn again the shape of the triangle and also we will able to make them the count, right? There is three triangles and also we can identify the colors. We will also be able to identify the colors. Moreover, they will able to count that how many numbers are there and most importantly, they will learn the shape. What is the shape of a triangle, right? Now, you can show them such type of picture and from this picture, they can able to find out what are the different shapes are there. Like in this picture, this is a rectangle. There's a more, big triangle is there. The big square is there. The windows are made of square. And in this single square, there is more squares. The door is actually made of this square. Also, you can go for this. This is a circle. So they can able to learn this circle also. And again, there is this rectangle. So the basic motto is that they should able to see the shapes in every structure. So maybe you can give any figure or any shape or physically you're able to you will go somewhere and show the students okay now can you tell me what are the shapes you can see so from there they should able to collect the information that okay I can see this shape I can see the circle I can see the rectangle I can see the triangle like you have a duster, you can show them, okay, what are the shapes you can see. So with the duster, they will be able to see the rectangle. So this type of data or this information they should collect or able to grasp for this picture. Okay. Now we're going to see that there is classification of object on simple attributes. Now this class is basically for standard 2. Earlier what we talked, it was very playfulness and there's what class 1. Now we're going to little bit difficulty levels, right? Now again, we can play with the shapes. Now we can show them all the shapes. And then what are the shapes are there? First is we can see star, then there is rectangle, then there is circle, and there is triangle. Okay. Now by showing this, they should able to classify all these objects. Like what to have. So you can see that we have two triangles, right? They maybe number it one, two, so two triangles are there. Then again, two circles are there. Again, two rectangles are there. Again, two stars are there. So that may be one classification based on the shapes. Okay. Otherwise, we can also make classification based on the size. Right? There is big triangle, there is a big circle, there is a big rectangle, and there is a big star. Same goes for there is a smaller one of triangle, smaller of the circle, and the smaller of the rectangle and star. So these classifications can be done in different ways. One can be based on the shape, one can be based on the size, and also we can go based on the color, right? So now these are the things we made based on this shape, and then we can make based on this size, right? Smaller one, larger one. Also, we can go based on this color. So there is a purple one, there is a blue one, there is a green one, there is a red one. So the main motto of doing this is that they should able to classify any object based on some given entity. So if you just say that in this class we'll give lots of balls, okay, then you'll ask that okay, now the segregate the balls based on the colors. They will maybe there will be two baskets, and they will by playingly they will just segregate all these balls. So you have to check that okay, they are based on the color, it's perfect. Now if you can give a tricky thing, okay, now based on the size you just segregate them. Then they will just go and do what size is larger. They will make the larger one at a side and the smaller one at a side. So that may be one. They will understand that okay, now this is one classification type based on my attribute. So if I say based on my color, so I will do like this. If I say based on my size, I will do like this, and maybe based on the shape. So you can give different shapes of any colorful object. So maybe some triangle is there, circle is there, some star is there. So by that way, they will be able to segregate or classify all these objects. Okay. Now, a same thing we will do. You can give them shape, and they will just write that what are the objects, right? So you can make these kind of tables and hand over to them, and they will just write how many balls are there in this color, how many balls are in that color, or how many shapes are in this color. So they can able to mark this number. Okay. Now you can show them some practical objects. So after showing them, then you can ask the name. So maybe they will know that it's a cup, this is a compass box, this notebook, there's eraser, there's spoon, there's pen, there's a glass for drinking glass, there's a fork, a ball, this ruler is there, the dinner plates, and color pencil. Now you can give them some attribute like which are belongs to classroom, which are belongs to your dinner table or kitchen, right? By doing this, giving them this option, they should able to segregate or classify these particular objects. Now we can give them, okay, those belongs to your kitchen, make a circle, and those belongs to your classroom, make a blue circle. That will be green circle and it will be blue circle. Then they will able to solve this kind of problem, right? So by doing this, actually what they are doing, they are able to classify all these objects. So, okay, so they want this cup, make a green round because it belongs to our kitchen. If they see these notebooks, because they are going to school, so these notebooks are used in classroom, so this belongs to classroom. These color pencils they use in classroom, so they are able to actually segregate all these things based on their logic actually. Okay, logically you see that this cup belongs to kitchen, this ruler belongs to my classroom, this dinner plate belongs to my kitchen. So they just do this. By doing this, they will be able to this the idea of intellect idea, they will develop how to classify object in get filled also. Okay. Okay. Hey, now earlier what we did, we just made one circles by making this subdivision. Now you can also give them some table, and on this table they have to write that which belongs to what. So actually they are making it in a tabular format. Same thing, they will make some table, and on the table they will give this. Okay, they will take these kitchen objects and classroom objects. So those belongs to my classroom. We just write one by one, that cup and square, then drinking glass, dinner plate, spoon, fork, ball. So they will write under this kitchen section. And those belong to my classroom, they will write my classroom section. And it's possible that some object never get confused, then we can help them also to understand that which belongs to which section. But in this case of kitchen and classroom, it will be obviously very simple because those belong to classroom, they generally don't belong to my kitchen. Okay. Now come to the next section. We're going to sort the information. So what is basically sorting information? Like we start with this multiplication table. So what we can see that we are doing that 2 into 1 equal to 2. So all this table has been written. Now what we have done, we make these columns, right? We made 5 columns and 10 rows. Okay. So by doing this, it's very easy to understand that which row is belong to what. So if you just see this 2, 4 are 8. That sorting is we have done here. Okay. Now you can give them some problem there or problem statement that okay, you just write that who have done breakfast in the morning and who haven't. So what they will write their classmates' name and they will write that okay, Divya had breakfast in morning. Then some other Kavya didn't have breakfast in the morning. So they will write yeah, like kind of paragraph. But the problem is that after writing this, if you want to ask them, okay, now tell me who haven't done the breakfast and who have done the breakfast. So that will be tough for them to find out. Now we can just show them one trick to write this in a tabular format. Right? Let's see how to write this. Now, if they write in a tabular format, it becomes a little bit easier compared to previous one because now each line can be visible, right? The name is in the beginning and they can see that, okay, they can read, okay, Kavya didn't have breakfast. But still it's not clear, right? Because again, I have to go through all the lines to understand that who have done breakfast and who haven't. Same way, you can give them more idea how to write this. And if they write in this way, the name and here is had breakfast. And they will just write the names under the name and who have done breakfast here, yes, and who haven't done, no. So by doing this, they will understand that okay, it's very easy if we write certain information in tabular form. Right? So this they will understand. Right? Once they will do practically, they will know, okay, now it's better to write this in a tabular form. So this is called sorting the information. We have all the data, but we are sorting the information such a way and processing that we can extract what we need very precisely. The same way, you can give them these data that what are the subjects they are going to learn in this year and the number of lessons, how many lessons are there. So by seeing this tabular format, it will be easier for them also to understand that okay, for which subject, how many lessons are there. And rather than going through this in a paragraph manner, if you go via this way, they will also understand that okay, this is very useful for us and also for further processing their own information, they can follow this kind of tabular formats. Now, here we can add more columns also. Like here, after this number of lessons, we have added the number of pages. So if we just add number of pages, so this is also become more informative for us or for the students. They will also understand it. Okay, so as we are need more incorporate more data inside this table, we can have to just add one particular column, and that column will give some proper heading, and under that will give the particular information for this. Like take English. So here you can write as if there is more number of books, the more number of books. For English, if there is two number of books. In mathematics, there is only one number of books. In EVS, there is one number of books. In general, maybe there is three number of books. That table also you can give them assignments for the students. They will also for their end you will solve this problem and they will give you some tabulation for you. So this is a very good way for this understanding this tabulation. Okay. Now you can give them some homework kind of thing. That can you give some example of tables you see in your daily life? So like school timetable, the calendar, the attendance register, the birth chart, the homework, or maybe any favorite cartoon show timing. Like that way, they will prepare some tables where they will find that maybe some tables they are making, and they will say that okay, at this time, this month, I'm seeing this kind of cartoon. So that will also give a very energy to them because they will very happy to note out the timing of these their cartoons and they will produce in the class. Also, you can show them that okay, give me that what is my any of these problem you can give like a bar chart. So they will make one name here and they'll make the name of the months. On that month, they will just write birthday, birthday, birthday. So they will also know that which person that went their birthday. Like this kind of chart, they should able to make, and we should also give them encouragement, like kind of homeworks. By doing that, they will also learn the benefit of this tabulation. Okay. Now, any kind of, they can also give them some assignment like that. Okay. So give the chart for which you want to go for your breakfast every day. So they can also write their name in a one column. Next column, they can make a wish list, right? So which day, what they want to eat. So Monday they want to have this in breakfast. On Sunday they want to in breakfast. So just make a table and give them some more assignment related to a practical means daily life. That will also help them to understand and what the helping side of this tabulation form. Okay. So next we are going toward this defining a code, and also this has been made for the standard 2 students. Now, what is code? So now, as we learn these shapes, so by help of these shapes, let's understand. Can we understand some codes, right? So we can give them some little bit ideas that if you see the star, then they will put raise their right hand, right? For star, they will raise right hand. And then for circle, they'll raise their left hand. For rectangle, they will raise their both of their hands. For triangle, they will shake with their neighbors. Okay. Now let themselves remember the rules. You know the rules. Then just show the shape of the star. So what they have to do? If they see the star, then they will raise their right hand. If they see the rectangle, what will do? They will raise their left hand because we defined these rules in the previous section. If there is a triangle, so what are the rules for triangle? They will raise both of their hands. Okay. Then you can make the chart for them also, and they will just write what they just did. Okay, so maybe star, and someone just raised their hand, so they will write I raise my hand. It is a circle. Okay, I shake hand with my neighbor. Now we check that how many of their correct or wrong. So they will make it playful thing. Then again, just repeat the game. So you show some circle, some triangle, and then diamond shape thing. That will have some problem, right? Because they don't know what's the rule for this. That is actually making the main foundation of code. So we have the code for each or every shapes except this diamond. So we don't know what to do, right? So that's why for each shape we have to make sure that there is a shape or there is a code what to do and what not to do, right? So these what we define is called code. Each shape is a code for me to perform any activities. Now these students, you can repeat these games and they'll understand, okay, this is code. And this is not the one. Any code you can just make, right? You can just make this shape. If there is this shape is there, they will raise their hand. If this shape is there, they will raise the left hand. If this shape is there, they will raise both hands. If this shape is there, they will shake hands with each neighbor. So the best part of this is that you can, it's possible to have this PPT presentation and this presentation in the big screen. Just picture these shapes. First, you let them know the rules and just hide the rule and keep the shapes in the presentation. And they will, according to you, they will just do these activities. Or else you can do have some paper cutouts. This cutout will show them once one cutouts, and with that, that will be according to the shape. They will just do the activities, and they will learn that what is actually basic idea of this. Would mean the set of rules or set of symbols. So with these symbols is there, they will operate or they will do some function. Right? Now again, you can have the same thing. You can now, rather than going for the shapes, you can just have some alphabets. If the alphabet is R, they will raise the right hand. If the alphabet is L, they will raise the left hand. If the alphabet is B, they will raise their both hand. And if the alphabet is S, they will shake their hand with the neighbor. So that means the codes can be anything or the symbols can be anything, but you just define the rules for that particular symbol. Now, let them also give some classwork that you do know any other symbols, and we can give them some hint also, like traffic lights. Okay, so if there is red light, what they will do. If there is a yellow light, what they will do. If there is green light, what they will do. So these are the also symbols. Also, near this in the road, then different kind of symbols are there. So as a homework also, they can discuss with their parents and also while walking through this road, they can learn these kind of symbols and also discuss in the class and all other students also discuss it together. They will learn more this kind of symbols. Okay. Now, the next we're going to talk about this simple way of arranging and analyzing in information. So this belongs to class 3. So is it eligible for higher? So first, what is mean by arrange? Arrange means put any information or any product or any attributes in a proper and desired manner. Okay. So if you making anything in a proper manner, it's called basically arranging data or arranging any information, right? Like if you have flowers, so you can what you can do, you can give the students some flower, the class, and they will arrange it in a kind of boutique kind of way. So what will happen? This will make more attractive because all the different kinds of flower will be there in the same place. So that will look nice. So that is me arranging lots of flower in a same manner. Likewise also, we can arrange this in different ways. Like there is a one way is there, can arrange another way, can arrange another way. So depending on our need, we can arrange in different way also our data. You can also try this in a class, arranging the shoes. So they will generally make the shoes in the outside class in different manner. Will not look great actually. You can show them also that these are unarranged. And then in a shoe box, you can help them to make it in a arranged manner. And then they will also see that okay, if you make the shoes in arranged manner, so that will help us or that will actually look nice also. First of all, they will help us to take out the shoes, which is which pair. They are also useful and also it will look neat also and also nice. This is one of the uh, reason we arrange in data. Now you can give them some assignment kind of thing. That okay, write 10 names of the students of the class. Once they will write in a sheet, then ask them, okay, now find out what are the names of the students start with N and start with P. Now, as they will write randomly the name, it will be difficult for them to take out the names which starts from N and which starts from P, right? Because they are not arranged. Now, what you can do, arrange the name, you can help them, tell them, to, okay, now you do one thing, you arrange the name in alphabetical order. That means the name which starts with A will come first, then B, then C. Okay, likewise, they can arrange the name. After that, you can again give the same assignment. Okay, now you tell me which names comes with P and N. So it will be easier for them to take out the data. So by doing this, they will also in their hand, they will learn that what is or how to arrange the name and what the benefit of arranging this in alphabetic order. Okay? So what is it? This will be very fast and also it is particular, right? So the name what we need, we can instantly we can take out from that section. So the main motto is that they should understand that okay, by doing this, by arranging this or the work what we are doing, it's actually going to helpful for us. So again, one thing you can do, you can ask them what the marks they got in a class and give the numbers, those who got between 80 to 90. The same thing will happen. So if they arrange randomly, now the problem will be that they have to search that what is the highest mark they will check. But if they arrange it by higher to lower, those who got highest mark in the first position, so it will be easier for them also to take out okay who got this highest marks class. And also by making it in a range, now it will be easier for them also to take out those who got numbers from 80 to 90 or maybe 50 to 60. So that will also be very helpful for them arranging any data in a stable manner. Okay. So these are the assignment actually you can give it to them and also they can analyze all the data. So the main thing is that arranging any information help us to analyze it in a faster and easier manner. So that way we'll save lots of the time. So this can be also give them as an assignment to keep a track of time, how much they spend if the data is not arranged, to find out some data. So give them okay, they took at least 10 minutes. After the data has been arranged, you can show them, okay, now the data is arranged, now find the number, there may be only 2 minutes. So that numbers also they can understand, okay, if we do it in an arranged manner, so it will also save us time. The main motto is that let them know that or they will understand that, okay, what we are doing, if we are doing a arranged manner, it will save us some time also. And also it will be easier and faster. Okay. Now, next comes this data compression. So we have lots of data how to compress the data because if the data is very large, we cannot transfer it from one place to another place, right? So that going to this setting. And this is basically meant for class 4, which is with higher version we are going. Now, in the class, you can ask them like if some person have lots of stuffed toys. Like here, you can see that Mickey Mouse is there, Minnie Mouse is there, and then here also toys are there. And also these toys you can have in your class and tell them to just shift it from one place to another place, and also give you them some box kind of thing. Maybe box is bit smaller. Now they have to shift it. Now you can give them this assignment. Now how will you do this? So the first thing, what can they do? They have to make all this stuff in this small box. So how they will do? They will take this and make that squeeze all the rolls in this particular box, right? So once they will squeeze it, so that what they are making, they are basically compressing all these stuffed toys, and make sure these are stuffed toys, otherwise it will not work, right? So they will squeeze it in a single box, and then they will transfer it to one place to another place, and again when they just unbox it another location, that will become in my original shape. So that is called decompression. Earlier, what we did, we squeezed it, basically we squeezed it in a box, and then after squeezing it, we can transfer it from one place to another place, and then again, after making it open, we can get back to my original shape. So this press or squeezing it together, what happened? It reduced the size. Okay, that means compress means you're reducing the size, but making it sure that once it is decompressed, the data or what is inside the box, it's actually coming into back in their original shape or size. Right? This is the main mode of compression and decompression. So they will also understand that, okay, compression means why we are doing this, because we have less space, but we have to take all the data. Once we compress it, put it in a box, and we transfer to another place. Again, we open this box, and the shapes got the doll shape of the dolls got previous shape. What is the earlier? That means we are decompressing on this stuff. Okay. Now they can understand the main motto of this. Compression means squeezing to reduce the size, and decompression means restoring back to its original form or shape. Right? Now, main motive is, can we do these things with data as we did with the toys? Answer is yes. Now, you can give the students some more assignments like this. You can repeat, maybe once my name is Ram and my name is Sham. Now, you just give them one small piece of paper, and you give them a large paper where this kind of data are written. That means you're repeating A for 10 times, like here is repeated for 4 times. So you can make it 10 times, B is for 10 times, C is for 10 times, because they have to understand that that number is very big, or the data what they're going to transfer to another friend have to be very large. Now, in this case, it's A is repeated by 4 times, B is repeated by 4 times. So all the data is repeated by 4 times. But if the student has only small page, they will not able to write all the numbers, all the alphabets in this particular small page. Now they have to think that, okay, how I make this data, what I have to write in a small page. Now then if you just show them the trick, okay, so you see the A is repeated 4 times, B is repeated 4 times. So all the numbers have been repeated by 4 times. Can't we just write like this: A4, B4, C4, D4, E4, and that was it, all the alphabets, and then writing 4. That means what just we did, we compressed the total message. So that may be very practical assignment for them, and they will write this their small page on paper, and they can transfer it with friend. Moreover, they can also have this another trick, Rather than writing A to Z, they can also write that alphabet, all alphabets A to Z, and each will be repeated by 4 times. That will also furthermore compress the number or alphabet. So these kind of tricks for compressing, you have to just uh, allow them to understand. And also one thing is sure, for transferring this also, is how they made this compression. That rules, compression rule also need to be transferred along with this same data. Otherwise, the person what is on other end will not understand how to decompress the data. Right? These also they have to understand. Okay. So how the person in other end will decompress the data? Obviously, as you know the compression rule, which has been transferred with that small paper itself, they will able to or he will able to retrieve back the data from the compressed one. Right? So these kind of small games also you can play in the class to understand that the main motto of compression and decompression. Okay. Now main motto why we did this. So now they will understand that as RAM has limited size of paper, so they cannot write entire message in the small paper, and also they cannot increase the size of he cannot increase the size of the paper. So what they have to do, they have some limitation with their space. One is the space is the paper, and other case when the stuffed toys, he has a space with the again the limitation with the space. Now both what they did, they applied some rule for compression and then they send this in another place or to another person. Okay. This compression and decompression thing you will understand. Okay. And the main motto is that they have to understand that first there is a limitation of space is there when you transfer any information or data or any kind of stuff from one to another end. And once we compress the data, we have to make sure which way we are compressing and how to decompress the data. That rule also has to be transferred to other person who are going to decompress my data. Okay. Now the next one is which is also meant for our class 4 student. So it is representation of information and introduction of code. So earlier we have introduced some kind of codes, right? That if there is star, put your right hand up. If there is a maybe rectangle, put your right hand, left hand up, or raise your left hand. Now these kind of codes or informations are presented everywhere. Like if someone sees most of the students, they will know that the traffic symbol, right? So what will happen if the traffic light is red? So I guess all they will know that red means you have to stop. So how they know? Because this is the representation or this is the symbol which represent that or which means that you have to stop your car. Same way. If this is yellow, what they'll say, okay, yellow means you have to go slow. Because as we know, set of traffic rules that yellow means go slow. And if the symbol is green, we'll go because it means go. We can go through this traffic or in this rule. Now, it will help us to understand that by using these symbols, we'll be safe and traffic will flow smoothly. But if in some place they use this kind of symbols, that means one is pink, and is gray, and is blue, then there will complete confusions will be there because they will not understand that okay, what means for this blue or what means for this gray or what means for this pink. because we don't know what this code or this color mean for, and that may result into some accident also, right? So these things they have to understand that once one symbol is there, for that symbol, some set of rules also should be there, which has been already given and which has been transferred to the other end also. Like those who are making the symbol, they will also know the rules or the rules of this symbol, and this data also or information have to also be transferred to other end also, right? Else it doesn't make any sense. Same way, you can also show them some symbols, right? And then ask them, okay, what this means. So they will instantly say this is divide, division, symbol, this multiplication, this plus. Why they need that? Don't know that because they know this symbol means you can also divide two numbers. By using this symbol, which is cross, we know we have to multiply two numbers. This is multiplication symbol. So that idea or that information is already with them. Okay. If there's any other kind of symbol comes, which doesn't, they don't know these things, they will not able to do any kind of operation, right? Maybe you just give them 2 into 3. So what the result? They will give 6. But 2, you can make any ampersand signal or any other symbol 2, you will not able to give the answer because that set of symbol, what that means, they will not know. Right? So only the idea is that to let them know that each symbols means something because we know or previously with our experience we know that this symbol means this set of rules. Okay? The same way we're going to put this binary representation. Now what this binary means? Bi means 2. Okay, and in numerical we can use this like if it's 0 means that this is off, 1 means that this is on. So in binary case, we use all this stuff in our computer, right? And also we can you can just tell them also how this bi name is. Like give it some example. Bi means 2, and in bicycle. Bicycle, what is there? There is 2 wheels. So this is bicycle. In biannually means twice a year. Bifocal means 2 lenses. Like this, you just make them familiar the term bi. Okay, bi-monthly means there will be twice a month. Okay. Now, doing this, again we can come for this binary representation. Because as they will be in class 4, maybe we can start with that, understanding what is binary numbers. Because they have already read that decimal numbers, which start from 0 to 9, and combination of this, they can make more number. Same way, this binary means 1 and 0. And using to bulb, also you can show them, okay, if the bulb is on, we'll think it is 1. If the bulb is off, we think this is 0. So this kind of representation also you can teach in the class, and also by making some bulb glow and off and on, off and on, you can have some write them these numbers. Okay, if the light is on, write 1, light is off, write 0. So this kind of practical uh, practically also you can do in the class. Now, why you go for binary? This is the main thing. Binary, actually, they have to understand that in computers, all electronic circuit work on binary systems only. So if this on, that means it's 1, off, it's 0, right? So this thing happens in the computer, and all the data what we save inside a computer like image, sound, text, or any other data, all are saved in form of binary. Also, we'll try to make one image using this binary system. Okay, that also you can read the class for this student. Now you can just write one number 0, 1, 0, 1. There is a 4 box. and just let them know if the number is 0, that means we'll make it a box is fully white. So it will erase everyone. If the number is 1, we'll make the box fully black. So you can just hand over them some what is it, graph sheets, or also to make some blocks and let them know. You just write 0 1 0 1. So by watching the board, they will just make which block is 0, they will keep it as it is white, and the block which is 1, they will just dark with their pen or pencil. Okay, by doing this, they can represent this binary numbers, right? Next, so what just they did, if we go for the niche kind of thing, each box can be called as pixel. Okay, as we are going to build one image using this box, so each box they can call a pixel. Okay. Now, what is pixel? Pixel is the smallest part of any digital image. Okay. So, small pixels can make for larger image. Now, maybe next in the class, you can just take this box. Black, white, and then again white, black, white, black. Now, they have to decode the numbers. Earlier, what they did, you were writing 0 1 0 1. From that 0 1 0 1, they're making it white, black, white, black. Okay, now we give them the opposite problem. This black, they will what they write? They'll simply write 1. It is white, they will write 0. Again, black, they will write 1. Again, they will write 0. So, likewise, they will just interpret from this image what the binary representation is. So, the earlier one, what we just provided them, it was the picture, and then what they have decoded with the binary representation. Now, using this logic, let's help them to make one smiley face. Okay, so first what you have to do, you have to just provide them a chart which has a 6 rows and 7 columns. Okay, just a graph kind of thing. This kind of box, this kind of box you can just provide them, and earlier just make them blank. Okay. So you just provide them, and then write in the board all are zeros, and then 0 0 1 0 1 0 0, then 0 0 0 1 0 0, then 0 1 0 0 1 0. Like this kind of structure you can provide, and then when they will see in some portion there is 1, they will what they will make, they will just darken all the section or all the portion of this block, and then when there is 0, they will not touch, they will make it completely white. So they will find that after doing this, they will find all this one is smiley face. Okay, this is not very high quality, but you can understand that, right? Eyes, and they will just understand this is a smiley face one. And you can then go for the complex one also. But first understand what the simplest one, right? So they will have this binary representation 1 0 1. From there, they will make this smiley face. Now, what actually has been done, all the numbers what we have given, you can give like this one 0 0 0 for first row. So as they will see that all their columns, all the rows are, all the elements of this first row has been filled by 0, that means they will not touch any of this box. Next, they will find that, okay, 0 0 1 0 1 0 0. That means first two will be blank. The first two is blank. Then again 1 1. If there's 1, they will just fill this with dark color, right? So they will color that up. Then again 0, they will keep it blank, and again 1, so just again darken it up. So this is they can do practically in the class. So again you will provide the second row, the third row actually. The third row again they will see there is only one which is in the middle. So the middle they will just dark this, rest they will just keep adjusting. Now after doing all this row, they will themselves able to make this smiley face. Now One thing also you can do, you can now provide them some other images like this, and from that image, they have to retrieve back their binary information. So maybe you have given one box which is darkened somewhere, and from there they will write that where there is a dark portion, they will treat it as one, and where there is any white section, they will treat it as zero. Right? So likewise, they will also come to know that how these images forms the computer. Okay. Now let's just have some recap what we just learned so far. So the we've learned that representation of information using some symbols. What are the representations? Like if you have red color, that means it's the traffic light. So that we have to stop. If the color is green, you have to go. If the color is yellow, it will go slowly. So within some symbols, we can have the information and we can work along with them. The next case and the next section, what I just did, we went for this making a image using this binary codes, right? Using binary representation, you can go for it. Okay. Maybe I have next class tomorrow, so today I want to stop here itself. If anyone have any questions, please you can just ask. Dr. Mujumdar, so if there are any questions, I can also go through it.
Participants, if you have some questions, sir is there.